Welcome, everybody, to Ridiculously Raw, the most must-see show on YouTube today, as well as StreamYard.com. I am your host, your ridiculously over good brother, Anthony Florio. I am joined, as always, by good old MF Michael Fletcher, the phenom Michael Bullock, fresh off another one of our legendary Raw chats. Twisted Angel and First Lady of the Wrestling Forum, Didi Woodson, is here as well. Apologies for the late start. Technical issues on my end. Thankfully, I was able to clear them up. I had to do a little bit of some restarting and whatnot. The server wasn't responding, but somehow everything's back up and running here. So, knock on wood, we'll get through this here tonight. So, not much more to say except let's get into the action. As always, of course, tonight we kick off a very busy week. Yeah, for the first time in quite a while, we're gonna have a very busy week of shows, and we'll address that elephant in the room at the end of the show, including a very exciting show that's going to be coming up later this week, which I am beyond thrilled about. So, anyways, Monday Night Raw, as has been the case for the last 2 months now, once again, as always, from the Performance Center in Orlando, Florida, exclusively on the USA Network. And we started off this evening with, well, for the second week in a row, we had MVP in the VIP lounge. You may recall last week he had the three. Well, when we had three men in the men's Money in the Bank ladder match, that was before the unfortunate injury to Apollo Crews. But of course, we announced, there was an announcement that we were going to have a gauntlet match this evening. So with all that being said, tonight we went from the men to the women. We had the three women representing Monday Night Raw and the women's Money in the Bank ladder match coming up. We had Asuka, we had Shayna Baszler, we had Nia Jax, and this started out as well, hold on here. Okay, we're not responding here. So oh geez. All right. I do apologize. We have a very frozen screen here. We're gonna have to do a shutdown here. End the damn thing. Fucking server. Frozen. It's not moving. It is not moving. Hello, can you hear me now?
I can hear you.
I can hear you.
Okay. Yeah. All right. I do apologize once again. This is really being a pain in my you know what here. But let's try our best to get through this here. So Monday Night Raw, of course, was live this evening. Well, not live. From the Performance Center in Orlando. We started it off with the VIP lounge. Second week in a row. MVP had the Raw men in the Money in the Bank ladder match. This week, he had the women. Asuka, Shayna Baszler, Nia Jax. And, well, let's just say it didn't end well. MVP is great at what he does, but nobody in this segment had much to work with. The small amount of physicality didn't do much to make the segment better. Asuka is always entertaining. You know how much I've been loving that lately. Shayna Baszler still comes across as one of the most dangerous people on the roster. Nia Jax was the odd woman out. She barely spoke, and she ended up getting double teamed and kicked out of the ring. So that was that. So Asuka to me was the star of the segment, and I believe in my heart of hearts that one of my Raw women is going to win this Money in the Bank ladder match. I don't know which one. The easy money's on Shayna Baszler, but you never know. I mean, I hear that they want to push Asuka again, so we'll just have to wait and see. So fine segment for what it was. So good old MF Michael Fletcher. Now that we have all the nasty business out of the way, let's get your thoughts on this opening segment. VIP Lounge kicking us off for the second week in a row.
Yeah, it was actually pretty good. It was a very good start to Monday Night Raw, no doubt about it. VIP Lounge served its purpose. It added more heat to the Money in the Bank ladder match as it pertains to the women. Solid way to start the show. I really got nothing more to add. So, Michael Bullock, I'll give it to you.
Yeah, I mean, it was an all right segment for what it was. I mean, yeah, I mean, Nia Jax didn't even get a word in during this VIP lounge. It was basically just Shayna Baszler and Asuka basically going back and forth. So yeah, so there's really nothing more for me to add. So Dee Dee Woodson, it's yours.
Yeah, it was a solid segment, and not surprised how it ended at all. Because Nia did take out both ladies, and you pretty much knew. I mean, MVP said at the beginning he thought all hell was going to break loose, so basically it did. So not surprised. Good opening segment. So it's yours, Florio.
All right, and now we're going to get to the first of our two promoted and advanced matches. It was the last chance gauntlet match to fill the final spot to find out who would be replacing Apollo Crews in as the final Raw guy in the Money in the Bank in the men's Money in the Bank ladder match. We started it off with Bobby Lashley against Titus O'Neil. Bobby Lashley won that in 50 seconds. Then shortly thereafter, Bobby Lashley took care of Akira Tozawa. Then Bobby Lashley took care of Shelton Benjamin. But then Humberto Carrillo was next, and Bobby Lashley got a little too antsy, put his hands on the ref. You can't do that. He got disqualified. Angel Garza was next. Carrillo goes over Garza. Then Humberto Carrillo defeats Austin Theory. And then we had a surprise entrant. Much to the delight of myself, not so much for Michael Bullock. I think you know where I'm going with this one. He's back. The phenomenal AJ Styles. First time since being buried alive by The Undertaker in the epic Boneyard match at WrestleMania. The phenomenal one made his return, and to the surprise of no one, AJ Styles defeats Humberto Carrillo. So AJ Styles is going to the Money in the Bank ladder match, where he will join Rey Mysterio and Aleister Black for Monday Night Raw, Daniel Bryan, King Corbin, and Otis from Friday Night SmackDown. I don't have a time of the fall. Hopefully somebody can get it for me here, the overall time that is. So, good old MF Michael Fletcher. He's back. The phenomenal one is back.
And ladies and gentlemen, here is your new odds-on favorite to win the Money in the Bank, and in my opinion, the man that's going to win the Money in the Bank on Sunday night. AJ Styles is back. You know they're going to want to push him instantly after what happened at WrestleMania, and it actually would serve a great purpose to have him possibly fighting with Drew McIntyre for the WWE title, unless they want to throw a swerve and make him a face and have him go for the Universal title. But I kind of believe it's going to be for the WWE title. I think it's going to be AJ now. The return is a perfect time. There hasn't been that many guys. Guys are getting hurt now. Kevin Owens is now on the shelf. Jimmy Uso's on the shelf. So you need the guys back all in time in the whole 9 yards. And what a perfect moment for that to happen. For AJ to come back to be the man that now takes Apollo Crews' spot. And now he gets the opportunity to fight in Money in the Bank at the Titan Tower in Connecticut. This is the perfect storm for AJ to win. Yes, there's a little bit of the heartbreak. Yes, he's a little angry about his running buddies, Anderson and Gallows being let go, and he even openly admitted it, that he kind of felt responsible for that to happen. Kind of felt like he should have fought for them a little more harder before they got fired. This is the perfect situation. AJ is now the odds-on favorite, and I believe will probably win the Money in the Bank now. There's really no doubts about it, in my opinion. If there was one guy that maybe I didn't want to see, that was him. That was one of the guys I kind of was a little iffy about. If we would have saw AJ, I would have been like, oh crap. There goes SmackDown's chances of winning Money in the Bank on the men's side, because we had the favorite in Daniel Bryan. Now I think AJ now becomes the odds-on favorite, the instant favorite now. And they're probably going to push him to be the Money in the Bank winner. So it was a great fight overall. 3.5 stars for the entire gauntlet. Michael Bullock, I give it to you. It looks like Taker didn't do a good enough job burying AJ. He got out. He's back. And now he's probably going to win the Money in the Bank.
Yeah, he is.
Well, I'll say it like this, and I know I'm gonna rub some people the wrong way. Florio, you're gonna need to hear this and loud and clear. AJ Styles still lost to The Undertaker at WrestleMania, buried or not. So, AJ lost. AJ needs to get over it. Plain and simple. So, yeah, now he's back, and yeah, he's now the odds-on favorite now. I mean, who knows? Maybe it could come down to him and Daniel Bryan. So, and let's just say, Florio, there's another guy on the Raw roster that has some unfinished business with AJ Styles.
Oh, yeah.
It's Aleister Black. And we saw it in that promo later on in the night. So, yeah, I'm interested to see how that all goes down. So, yeah, I'll give it 3.5 stars as well. So there's really nothing more to say. D.D. Woodson, he's back, but as far as I'm concerned, he still lost to The Undertaker at WrestleMania.
Yeah, he still lost to The Undertaker, and no matter what is said, it's down in the history books as a loss. So yeah, I'll definitely agree with the rating. This was, it might have been kind of a long gauntlet of matches, and you might have only had like 3 winners throughout the whole gauntlet, but I mean, it was still wasn't that bad. I mean, it was still really, really good. I mean, they took up the whole first hour, pretty much wrapped around the whole gauntlet type thing, and the opening segment. So I mean, it came out pretty well in the end, and was yeah, it was just a bunch of little short matches, but you know, if you look at it as a whole, it came out pretty well, and now we have a completed um, the completed card for Money in the Bank with 3 from each, you know, 3 from Raw, 3 from SmackDown for the Money in the Bank. So we have all our answers. So now we just have to build the momentum on these next few days, the next few shows for the pay-per-view, and I think they're going to do it. So not much more I'm going to have to say. It's yours, Florio.
All right. And we move on now to, well, actually, we got to get my thoughts on this. I agree. By default, this was the fight of the night, 3.5 stars. If the goal was to push Bobby Lashley without putting him in the Money in the Bank match, I think WWE accomplished that goal with this gauntlet match. He should always be dominating his opponents, and he finally got a chance to shine as he destroyed 4 men before he was disqualified. It was also nice to see the feud between Garza and Carrillo get some attention after being put on the back burner for a little bit. And Carrillo also had a good showing, but as soon as AJ walked out, we all knew who was winning this in the end. It may have gone on a little long, but it managed to tell a few different stories at once. Good comeback win for Styles, who now becomes the favorite to win the Money in the Bank ladder match. And they did a nice job of keeping the matchups brief in the gauntlet match while still filling a lot of time. So that's all we can say on that. So, and of course, what's ridiculously Raw without cutouts? And we had a cutout here with a surprising outcome, though. It was Ricochet and Cedric Alexander squaring off against Shane Thorne and Brendan Vink. And what do you know? Shane Thorne and Brendan Vink actually win the match in 4.5 minutes. Maybe it was MVP's influence. I really don't know. But anyways, I mean, big win for those guys. Good showing for all 4 men, but Vink and Thorne, they definitely surprised a lot of people by scoring the win in this one. Having MVP support them without being at ringside was a strange decision, but it allowed them to pick up a clean win without any questionable tactics from anyone at ringside. And with the Forgotten Sons also getting a push in recent weeks, it looks like WWE is beginning to push the tag team division by introducing more duos to the mix. So that's really all we can say on that. So nice win for those guys. But back to relevant stuff here. Originally, we thought this was going to be a Raw tag team title match, but no. This ended up being a non-title match. Raw tag team champions, the Street Profits, Montez Ford, Angelo Dawkins, going up against former Raw tag team champions in their own right, Eric and Ivar, the Viking Raiders. When all was said and done, the winners of the match, 16 minutes and 20 seconds, the Viking Raiders. They pick up the win. Michael Bullock, I think we just had ourselves another championship committee moment.
Yep, we just had another championship committee moment. What was the time of the fall, Florio?
16 minutes and 20 seconds.
Yeah. I'm gonna give this about 3.5 as far as I'm concerned. Maybe 3.5 I'll give it. I mean, yeah, the Viking Raiders, I think they're next in line to challenge the Street Profits for the Raw Tag Team titles. So we'll wait and see how everything goes with that. Could it be at no, it can't be a Money in the Bank. I think it's going to be on the next Monday Night Raws. So we'll wait and see how it goes. So Didi Woodson, I give it to you.
Okay, I zoned out there for a minute, so I'm trying to figure out what's going on with my headset. We're talking about the tag match.
Viking Raiders and the Street Profits, correct?
Okay. Yeah, it was a good match. They got a lot of momentum going with both teams, and this kind of gave a good push to Vink and Thorn. You know, and now we have a win on each column for these guys. So I pretty much agree with the rating. It was good. It's a good match. So it's yours, Florio.
I might have to change my Fight of the Night honors. I might have to give it to this one here. This was another 3.5, maybe teetering on 3 3/4 of a star here. Street Profits did an especially good job keeping the more powerful Viking Raiders at bay by adopting a more aggressive style of offense in this bout. With the way WWE has been forced to book its recent shows, you would be forgiven for forgetting the Street Profits were the Raw Tag Team Champions, but this match served as a reminder of how good they really are. And the Viking Raiders were equally important to this being a good performance. There may have been one too many false finishes, but this was a fun match overall. And I'll tell you what, I think we just had ourselves, just like we had on Friday night, I think we had ourselves another championship committee moment. And, well, not quite the championship committee moment we thought, because from the SmackDown side, Forgotten Sons are going to get a SmackDown Tag Team Championship match with the New Day, but they also added Miz and Morrison and the Lucha House Party. They're making that a fatal 4-way at Money in the Bank. And I know MF and all of us will address that on Friday night. But for right now, maybe there's a championship committee moment here, you would imagine. So 3.5 to 3 3/4. I would probably call this the Fight of the Night for me, in all honesty, because that Money in the Bank match, Lashley just dominated for a lot of it. So, but that's all there is to say on that. So MF, do you smell a championship committee moment here? Are we in agreement?
It's possible. I would say yes, that there is definitely a championship committee here. It was a big win for the Viking Raiders, no doubt about it. I mean, hats off to them. They did really well to win this match tonight, and at the end of the day, we're just gonna have to wait and see. Maybe they give them the shot on Sunday night. But there's not really that many matches that I know about as of right now, so they could sneak this one in. You never know. So we'll just have to wait and see. So yeah, this was a solid fight, and I'll even give it the 3 3/4 and give it the Fight of the Night honors as well, Anthony. So yeah, let's just move right along.
Fair enough. And see what we have. Then we had a lot of stuff here. There was also on the show this evening. There was a sit down interview inside the ring with Charlie Caruso and Seth Rollins. That I think that's what's next on the docket here. All right, hold on. Now they probably skipped past it, so yeah, I don't see any mention of it here. They probably didn't bother with it. All right, so let's just get into our next matchup here, which was now this was a callback to an episode of SmackDown Live just about late into the year. We had the NXT Women's Champion, Charlotte Flair. She came out and cut another one of her braggadocious promos, like we all know she does very well. But she gets interrupted by Liv Morgan. Now you remember sometime last year on an episode of SmackDown Live, back when it was on the USA Network, and it was SmackDown Live, Charlotte and Liv Morgan had a match. Charlotte won it, and then Liv Morgan, as you all remember, cut a very cryptic promo after the match. And and that was pretty much that. And I don't quite have a time of the fall on this one, but it does lead into a match. I mean, Liv Morgan calls out Charlotte, says, I want to fight. I'm ready to fight. And you're going to have a reason to take me seriously now. Well, I think we all have a reason to take Liv Morgan seriously. But yet, the Queen, Charlotte Flair, she did win the match. Does anybody have a time of the fall for this match? Because I'm trying to, because my number one source is not responding. So
Let's see. I think I have like 11:30, 11:25, something like that.
so right around 11 and a half minutes or so, just about. So all right, but nonetheless, Charlotte Flair wins the match over Liv Morgan with the figure eight. It's only fitting Dee Dee Woodson starts this off. She is our women's wrestling expert after all. So Dee Dee Woodson, yeah, the outcome was predictable. We all knew Charlotte was going to go over. But hey, give Liv Morgan credit. She's getting better and better by the day.
She looked great at this match. I mean, she did stuff that you didn't really expect her to do. I mean, her winning over Charlotte would have been, great, but we all knew Charlotte wasn't going to win. Liv wasn't going to win. Charlotte got a lot of momentum going in her corner right now, being the NXT champion and having the match Wednesday with Io Shirai. So, yeah, it was definitely obvious for her to lose. And the great ladies did great. I mean, this really was a showcase for Liv compared to what we've seen up to this point. So, I have nothing negative to say really about it. I'm going to give it about 3 stars. So it's yours, Florio.
I got to give it sleeper fight of the night here. I'm going to give this between 3 to 3.25 stars. 11 minutes and 25 seconds is the official time that I was able to find on another source. But nonetheless, though, wow. Liv Morgan did a great job with the pre-match promo, and it was nice to be reminded of how Charlotte Flair was the one who originally inspired Liv Morgan to change her gimmick. Charlotte predictably controlled most of the action, but Morgan got in a few nice moves of her own. This was a strong showing for both ladies, but Liv Morgan definitely benefited the most by coming so close to beating the NXT Women's Champion and perhaps the face of the women's division. This is a feud WWE could use to turn Liv Morgan into a real main event player in the near future. She may have lost, but she likely earned the respect of a lot of fans in the process. I'll tell you one thing. Not only is this girl beautiful, but she can go. And she went tonight. I could probably honestly say, this to me, even in defeat, this was to me, Liv Morgan's personal best in-ring work that I have seen since she came to the main roster as part of the Riot Squad. So, this one's got a bright future ahead of her. I know there's probably going to be, she probably needs a little more seasoning, I understand, but as far as gaining respect of the fans and whatnot, she damn sure earned my respect tonight. And I'm proud to call her a Raw girl. So, well done, young lady. You may have lost, but don't hang your head on this one. You got a bright future, darling. You really do. So, maybe if all goes well, maybe within maybe a couple of years, maybe. You never know. You never know. Stranger things have happened. So, maybe it could happen. So, nothing more to say. Good old MF Michael Fletcher. Did Liv Morgan earn your respect tonight? She damn sure earned mine.
She did a great job. This was her best performance. This was her best match, and yeah, it was relatively well done. I don't think there's really nothing more to add at that point. That was just a an incredible performance. That was one hell of a match. Liv Morgan, she proved herself here tonight that she is still a fighter. She's still a warrior. And, we'll just have to wait and see. So there's really nothing more to add. So yeah, this was a great match. It was about a 3-star performance. The fight lasted about roughly 11 minutes. So yeah, nothing more to add. Mike Bullock, I give it to you.
11:25 time of the fall, Bullock.
Yeah, I'll give it about 3.25. I mean, this was definitely Liv Morgan's best match, and yeah, and this was definitely Charlotte was dealing with a different Liv Morgan, because remember the last time these two faced off, and it was on SmackDown Live, and Charlotte dominated her, and that's when Liv Morgan went off, and that's when she got recreated, and Charlotte found out firsthand that Liv Morgan is a different woman from the last time these two faced off. So yeah, so definitely got to give credit to Liv Morgan for hanging in there despite losing. So yeah, there's really nothing more to say. Floria, let's move on.
Yeah, I got very high hopes for that one. I really do. So, well done, young lady. That's all I can say. Main event of the evening. This was the other big match that was promoted in advance. Non-title match, of course. The WWE champion, Drew McIntyre. He went one-on-one with Seth Rollins' disciple, Murphy. And no big surprise here. Drew McIntyre wins the match. 6 minutes and 20 seconds. I'll tell you. Yeah, it may have been a little bit on the short side. I kind of felt the match was a little short, but I will say this: I'm gonna give it about 2.5 to 3 for the effort. It was a fun little sprint. I mean, Murphy is one of WWE's most gifted performers, and it will always be nice to see him in a main event, even if he was being sacrificed for the sake of a bigger feud. McIntyre, he continues to dominate. I mean, I'm loving it. And while this was a decent bout, I don't know if it would have been if this was the right call for the main event, but we'll have to wait and see on that. But it was a fine match for what it was. It was a nice little sprint. I mean, it was a hard-hitting match. A somewhat entertaining close to the show with some nice final hype for McIntyre and Rollins. And we thought Rollins was going to get over, but McIntyre got the last laugh. So, yeah. So I'm definitely looking forward to the match on Sunday night. So 2.5 to 3 to close things out. So MF, yes, it was a little too short, but it was a very fun sprint for that 6.5 minutes.
Yeah, 2.5 stars. Very good main event. Good matchup, to say the very least. And hats off to both men for giving us a presentable main event. This was an excellent fight. There was really nothing more to add. And yeah, very well done. So really nothing more to add. Mike Bullock, it's yours.
Yeah, I'll give it about 2.5 stars. A good way to close the show, and you definitely want to add some build to this WWE title match. I mean, yeah, Seth Rollins tried to get the upper hand in the end, but Drew McIntyre proved why he's the champ, and he definitely thwarted the what Seth Rollins was trying to do. So there's really nothing more for me to say. Dee Woodson, it's yours.
No, I'll go with about 2.5 to 3. It was a good way to end the show. Ending not really surprised that Drew would come out on top. But he did make Murphy look pretty good through the match. Also not a surprise that Seth Rollins ended up getting involved there at the end. So yeah, not a whole lot to say about it. Just a good ending for the show. Nice building for Drew versus Seth. So it's yours, Florio.
All right, and now we're going to get into our final thoughts on this Go Home to Money in the Bank edition of Monday Night Raw, and we're going to start it off with good old MF Michael Fletcher. MF, your final thoughts on this show tonight. MF, are you there?
You want me to take it?
Yeah, I don't see where. I don't know if MF's gonna. He probably had to step out for a moment. He didn't indicate anything. So yeah, Michael Bullock, let's get your final thoughts on this show tonight.
I thought it was a good final build for Money in the Bank. I mean, you are promoting it. I mean, obviously with the main event, but I love what they did during the show when they showed the entire WWE headquarters, which basically was where both the men's and women's Money in the Bank ladder match is going to be, and of course where the setup is on top of the building. So yeah, I can't wait to see it all go down on Sunday with this. I mean, a historic Money in the Bank ladder match taking place at WWE headquarters. So yeah, I can't wait to see this. So I don't know if Fletch is back on. Oh yeah, go ahead, Fletch.
I mean, there's really nothing more to add. This is gonna be it was a decent Monday Night Raw, a good way to close it out. Nice little go home show as it pertains to the upcoming Money in the Bank for the Raw end. AJ Styles is now in Money in the Bank. That's a huge get for the Raw side, and I think everybody did really well. I'm cautiously optimistic and pretty excited for Seth versus Drew now for the WWE title. I think that's going to be a very good match. The Money in the Bank on the men's side, the Raw end's going to be really good. The women's side looks really good as well. So, and possibly we might sneak in a tag team title fight here. Maybe a pre-show, maybe on the main card. We don't know. With Viking Raiders winning the night, they did get a championship committee moment. So all in all, I think it was a decent show. So, we'll move on. Whoever needs to talk, go ahead.
Yeah, this was it was a good go home show. And if you notice, we didn't really have any cutouts. A lot of segments, long matches, and a little more entertaining than what we've had in the past. I like the fact that we didn't try to fit 11 matches into 3 hours. Unless you want to break up the gauntlet into each match, which normally you wouldn't do. The gauntlet's supposed to be boom, 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 boom. That's kind of what they did with minus a few commercial breaks. So yeah, I mean, you had a good opener, you had a good closer. Definitely storyline building for the pay-per-view. Definitely nice lead up, not just for the pay-per-view, but also for Charlotte's match on NXT. So yeah, I mean, for what they have to work with in this time that we're in right now, this was a fairly decent Raw. So I have nothing more to add. So not sure if I'll be there Wednesday yet, but definitely, if not, I'll definitely see you guys Friday. So good night, guys.
All right, good night, Edie. We'll see you next time. So yeah, overall, this was an effective go home show for Money in the Bank, and the Money in the Bank matches in particular. The show was effective in putting over how unique the match will be due to it taking place at WWE headquarters. They did a little tour of the facility before the main event. The creative forces also did a better job than usual of filling the 3 hours. The gauntlet match with the final Money in the Bank spot on the line was a big help, but it felt like everything on the show had a purpose. I mean, we had 3 quality matches this evening. But Fight of the Night, Street Profits and the Viking Raiders. You had that gauntlet match. While it had a rough start because of Lashley's dominance, it definitely got better once Carrillo and Garza got in there. That's what pretty much did it. And then AJ coming back definitely made it even better. And good for Liv Morgan. I mean, Liv Morgan tonight, she definitely, she surprised the hell out of all of us. And who knows, that could be one to watch for. That could be a wild card in the women's division within the next couple of years, I feel. So very good show indeed. When it comes to the Money in the Bank pay-per-view, we only have one match that is an all Raw match, and that is Drew McIntyre and Seth Rollins for the WWE Championship. The only other matches with Raw competitors are the Money in the Bank ladder match. In the men's Money in the Bank ladder match, representing Monday Night Raw will be the phenomenal AJ Styles, Aleister Black, and Rey Mysterio. And representing Monday Night Raw in the women's Money in the Bank ladder match, Asuka, Shayna Baszler, and Nia Jax. One pure Raw match, 2 interpromotional Money in the Bank ladder matches, and 3 matches for SmackDown. So very possibly we could get that Raw Tag Team Championship match with the Street Profits and the Viking Raiders. I wouldn't be surprised if they add that within the week. So we'll see how that goes. So that's really all there is to say on that. Let's get into our Tony's Take here. And we're going to start it off, of course, with now I do believe 205 Live continued their recent trend of what they've been doing. It was another one of those best of shows. I think that's what they're going to be doing from here on in. The shows, the matches that inspired, and it's called The Matches That Made Me. And the Singh brothers selected 2 matches, and they selected the Iron Man match from WrestleMania 12, Shawn Michaels and Bret the Hitman Hart for the title. We all know how that ended. And then from there, they went back to their to a Tornado tag team match they had against the Lucha House Party back on July 2nd of last year, which the Lucha House Party won. So that was that. So we're I'll address that every week. I'm just not gonna review it. So with that being said, let's get into the business at hand, which was Impact Wrestling. It was Rebellion Part 2. And I got to admit, I didn't really have any high hopes going into this show, but they surprised me. And we started things off with a fatal 4-way matchup. Chris Bay versus Suicide versus Rohit Raju versus Trey Miguel. Chris Bay wins the match, 11 minutes and 45 seconds, 3 1/4 stars. Good opener, kept a good pace throughout, gave us the right winner. Solid, good start tonight, too. Then we had Joseph Ryan against Cousin Jake. Joseph Ryan wins the match, 11 minutes and 10 seconds, 2 1/4 stars. It was okay. It did pick up down the stretch, but the body of work was flat and lethargic. Nobody wants to see these two exchanging holds or attempting to methodically work a body part in an empty arena. Then we had Full Metal Mayhem. Jessica Havoc against Rosemary. And Rosemary wins the match, 12 minutes and 25 seconds, 2 3/4 star. They worked really hard, made the best out of a bad situation. And the fact that they missed out of having the Knockouts title match, it was pretty good. And it looks like we have a new addition to the Impact Wrestling Knockouts division, Nevia. Now, way back when, she used to work with Madison Rayne up in the Shimmer promotion. And I know MF knows all about that because MF, I know, knows about the independent scene. And I know he knows all about the Shimmer promotion. And those two young ladies at one time were a very dominant tag team. So it'll be very interesting to see what happens with Nevia there. And then Michael Elgin comes out. He was saying that, well, Tessa Blanchard's not here. Eddie Edwards is not here. So I should be the World Heavyweight Champion. No. Moose comes out and he wears around his waist the old TNA World Heavyweight Championship belt. And then Sean Hernandez shows up, and then we end up having ourselves a three-way match. Michael Elgin versus Moose versus Sean Hernandez. And when all was said and done, the winner of the match in an even 18 minutes, it was Moose. 3-star match. It was good overall. Bit sluggish and overbooked down the stretch. The Elgin, Tessa, and Eddie match should still happen, while you can have Moose, quote-unquote, defending the TNA title. 7 out of 10 for this show. Part 2, overall good show. Limited roster, worked hard. And the company doing their best to make good on a very difficult situation. So, obviously, with the shows being in a closed set, I don't think there's going to be any spoilers for tomorrow night's show that you can check out at 8 p.m. over on Access TV with an encore presentation at 11. Or if you can't watch it on Access TV, no problem. You can watch it on Twitch. Maybe you'll run into MF. I don't know, because I know MF is has a big following on Twitch. So that's pretty much all there is to say on that. So we're gonna put the bow on this edition of Ridiculously Raw. We want to thank you all so very much for tuning in. Once again, apologies for the late start. Technical issues beyond my control. We also had a little. I know we had a rough stretch within the first few minutes of the show, but everything's good to go here. So, praise the Lord for that. So, all right, good old MF Michael Fletcher. Let's set the table. Wednesday night. Wednesday night mayhem. We have, of course, AEW Dynamite, but AEW Dynamite, let's be realistic. It's going to be an afterthought because NXT, it's pretty much a friggin' show.
Yeah, they're throwing another epic, amazing, awesome. This is gonna be huge, guys. We got Io Shirai versus Charlotte Flair for the NXT Women's Title, and we also got Velveteen Dream versus Adam Cole for the NXT World Title. This is gonna be an epic show. It's a takeover special, like we would say, and yeah, this is gonna be epic. 10 p.m. Eastern once again. On my channel. And then after that, Anthony, something that you said that you were looking very forward to.
Oh, yeah.
We just got some confirmation of some big news today that's going to go down on Thursday.
And stick around, MF, because I want you to hear this, and I want all of you to hear this as well. Shortly before Monday Night Raw got underway this evening, I made a discovery via social media and NFL.com. They announced that this Thursday night at 8 p.m. Eastern over on the NFL Network, the NFL will indeed release the upcoming schedule for the 2020 season. Oh, yes, we're going to get into all of it. And because of that, I am pleased to announce, and upon confirmation with MF beforehand, we are pleased to announce that this Thursday night at 10 p.m. as well, we will have our annual Strictly Sports NFL schedule release special. Oh, yeah. We're going to break down all the big matchups for every week, weeks 1 to 17. We're going to break down the games that we're most looking forward to in the whole 9 yards. Man, I'm so excited. This is one of my favorite shows of the year. Hey, MF, you had your fun with the draft recap. Well, now I'm going to have my fun with the schedule release.
Absolutely.
Yep. So that'll be on Thursday. And then, of course, on Friday, 10 p.m. Is it going to be 10 p.m. on Friday as well, MF?
Yes, it will.
All righty. Sounds good. Another big show. We're going to be previewing. Well, we're not. It'll be a very special edition of the Cerebral Smack Talk. We're going to review Friday Night SmackDown. And in addition to that, we are also going to preview this weekend's Money in the Bank pay-per-view event. So the SmackDown review and the Money in the Bank preview, that'll go down on Friday night. And then from there, 8, and then that's pretty much it. So And then after that, it will be on Sunday night, immediately following the pay-per-view. It will be our Money in the Bank pay-per-view recap show that will also be hosted by good old MF Michael Fletcher. So there you go. Very exciting, very busy week around here, and quite frankly, we can't wait for it. So once again, Wednesday night, 10 p.m. on MF's channel, Bracefain 95, we will have Wednesday Night Mayhem as we recap AEW Dynamite and of course the big NXT show. Cannot wait for that. And then from there, a big show Thursday at 10, our annual Strictly Sports NFL schedule release special. And then on Friday night at 10, it'll be Cerebral Smack Talk. And then Sunday, immediately following Money in the Bank, will be the recap for that. And then back with Ridiculously Raw next week. So hope you got all that. So we're gonna get it all underway on Wednesday night. We're gonna take tomorrow night out, and we'll be back with you on Wednesday. So that's it. So until Wednesday night for Wednesday Night Mayhem, over on Bracefain 95, it's your ridiculously over good brother Anthony Florio here, signing off on behalf of good old MF Michael Fletcher, the Phenom Michael Bullock, the First Lady and Twisted Angel of the Wrestling Forum, Dee Woodson, and always and forever, Derek Ferrer. You know the routine, everybody. Thumbs up. Talk to you later. Yeah, throw it up Fortune 4 style. Bye for now, my friends. God bless. Be good to each other. Have a blessed couple of days. And until Wednesday night from Wednesday Night Mayhem over on MF's channel, Bracefain 95, you were watching Ridiculously Raw right here on the Zone 25 on YouTube and StreamYard.com. And remember, my friends, no matter what anyone tells you, wrestling is indeed actually real. For everybody who has been a part of this one, for now, Anthony Florio, so long. Bye, everybody. Bye.